The first time he said it, we were tangled in the sheets of our California king bed, the kind we'd saved up for because he insisted a good mattress was an investment in our future. His fingers traced the dip of my waist, his touch warm and familiar, the way it had been for nearly a decade. Then his hand stilled, his thumb pressing into the softness just above my hip bone, a place that had always been this way, even at my thinnest. You feel different, he murmured. I laughed, sleepy and sated, curling into him. Different good or different bad? The pause lasted just a second too long. Just different. That was the first splinter, small enough to ignore but sharp enough to leave a mark. The comments came slowly, like water wearing down stone. Are you sure you want that? As I reached for a dinner roll at his friend's house. You used to be so disciplined when I skipped a workout to nurse a migraine. I just want you to be your best self, as his eyes flickered over my reflection in the mirror behind me. Each one landed like a feather-light blow, barely noticeable at first, but the bruises accumulated. I started wearing high-waisted jeans to bed, began getting dressed in the closet, stopped letting his hands wander in the dark. I found it by accident one Tuesday evening. He'd left his laptop open on the kitchen counter while he showered. A spreadsheet titled Wellness Tracker caught my eye. I'd imagined meal plans, workout logs, the kind of organized self-improvement he was always preaching. But then I saw the columns. Date, weight, waist, hips, notes. 3 years of data, 3 years of my body reduced to numbers and percentages, plus 0.8 pounds from vacation expected. Needs to recommit to macros. Waist holding steady, but watch thighs. My hands shook so badly that I nearly dropped his expensive laptop off the counter. The shower cut off down the hall, and I slammed it closed like I'd caught him with another woman. When my mother died suddenly that winter, the grief hollowed me out. I moved through the days like a ghost, forgetting to eat, forgetting to sleep, forgetting anything except the crushing absence where she used to be. He didn't hold me when I cried, didn't rub my back when I woke gasping from nightmares. But on the morning of the funeral, as I stood in my black dress, one that hung loose now, my collarbones sharp beneath the silk, he cupped my face and said, "You've never looked more beautiful." It wasn't comfort, it was reward. 2 months later, when the grief hunger finally hit, I devoured an entire pizza standing at the kitchen counter, tears streaming down my face because it tasted like being alive again. He came home as I was wiping my hands, took one look at the empty box, and walked out without a word. That night in bed, his back was a rigid line inches from mine. "I can't be attracted to someone who doesn't respect themselves," he said to the darkness. I stared at the ceiling and wondered when my body had become a battleground, when his love had become conditional on the space I occupied in the world. That night, for the first time in our marriage, I slept in the guest room. The scale became my enemy and my God. I weighed myself morning and night, chasing the approval in his eyes when the numbers dipped, bracing for the barely concealed disappointment when they rose. I developed rituals, always naked, always after urinating, always with my hair piled high because surely that extra half ounce mattered. One afternoon, I caught my reflection in a store window and didn't recognize myself. The woman staring back was all sharp angles and hollows, her eyes too big for her face. I looked like my mother in her final days. We're still sharing a home, still sharing a life, but something fundamental has shifted. He still touches me, brief, proprietary grazes against my hip or waist, like he's checking the merchandise. I've started flinching away. Sometimes when he's asleep, I study his face in the moonlight, the man who promised to love me in sickness and health, who vowed to cherish me. I trace the lines of his jaw and wonder if he ever loved me, or just the idea of a wife he could mold into his perfect image. Other times, I drive to the 24-hour diner at 2 a.m. and order pancakes with extra syrup. I eat them slowly, deliberately, savoring each forbidden bite. The waitresses know me now. They never comment on how much or how little I eat. They just refill my coffee and call me honey. So I'm asking you, when does love become control? When does care become cruelty? And how do you find the strength to walk away from someone who's made you believe your worth is measured in pounds and inches?